I'm the life changer now. So any moment could be an impactful moment. Like if I'm talking to a group of guys, I want that moment to be big. That might be the biggest moment of my life. You know, I don't know that. But like me being a life changer, that's how I go into every situation. God gave you that vision for a reason. Just do it and believe in yourself. You know, everything else that come with it, take it. You know, you can say one thing to somebody and it change their life forever. Don't worry about sitting on the back of the bus. Just focus on where you're going. Every moment is a life-changing moment. Speak on it, don't hold it in. What's up? This is another episode of Speak On It. I'm the host, the life changer. I got the beautiful Sue here with me tonight. It's a pleasure to just be in your presence. But before we get started, I want to give a shout out to Cash App, Spotify, Apple Music, Apple. Shout out to my boy Joe Budden. He doing big things over there at the Joe Budden Network. How you feeling?
I feel great.
That's what's up. So we gonna dive right into it.
Okay.
The upbringing for you, like the childhood. What was that like?
My childhood, I can't complain. I had an average childhood. I had a mother who was married, then divorced, then a single mother, but she worked hellas and made sure we always had everything we needed and a lot of stuff that we wanted.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Where was Dad?
Well, like West Side, on the West Side.
So he was married. He was married to Mom.
Who?
Dad was married to Mom, and then it was divorced, and then.
Yeah. So my mom was actually married twice. So
okay.
my mom and dad was married, and then years and years and years later, she remarried to my stepfather.
So, I know when I first met you, only thing I can remember was I met you on the track though. I know I met you on the track, but you made me feel welcome though. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't know you, you ain't know me, but I felt like she made me feel good. You know what I'm saying? Even my daughter too. You know what I'm saying? You made us feel real welcome. And that point on, I was like, that's a nice lady. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even think I knew your name at that time. You know, but do you think like they come from like Mom?
I definitely think it comes from my mother's and the way that she raised us. You know, like I have 2 sisters and 2 brothers. Then I have 2 stepbrothers. But, we're just all, my mother was like a welcoming person. You know what I'm saying? Our house was the party house and, kind of stuff like that. So I just always, you either in life, you build off of how you were raised or you go a totally different way. And I think our family and the bond that we have, especially me and my sisters, we continued on what we saw through our mom.
That's what's up. You strong. You strong.
That's what I hear.
If people know, they know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
If they know, they know.
If they know, they know. I know you battle cancer.
Absolutely.
So before that, like getting the news, the first time getting the news, and what was going through your mind? Like what you like?
We laugh about it now because I was so dramatic, but it was crazy. The day that I found out, just the day that I found out was crazy. So we went to the Junior Olympics. The lead story to that. We went to the Junior Olympics, and before we went, I kept feeling this lump, under my arm. And I was like, well, I don't want to ruin the Junior Olympics, so I'm going to wait, because I was getting to that track meet. That's how much I love track.
Yeah.
So I was like, when I get back, and every year I have my mammogram around the same time, so I knew when I got back, it would be time for a mammogram.
Yeah.
And so we went to Junior Olympics. We were there for 11 days. We came back. My mammogram was scheduled for the next day, and I went. Well, the year before, the technician was saying, she felt like something looked weird or whatever, and she asked the doctor to look at it, and he was like, oh, it's okay, it's just dense, it's just a lot of density. So, you want to hear everything. You trust in the doctor that what he says, he knows what he's saying. And so the whole year went by. I started having super bad headaches, like really, really bad headaches. And they started treating me for high blood pressure. Well, fast forward to the next year, I go to get my mammogram, same technician. She saw something, the doctor saw it, they was like, oh, do an ultrasound. So now I'm panicking, you know. So they did the ultrasound, they was like, well, we want you to go see your primary doctor.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is, Gerald was taking Samaya and them to get registered for school while I was getting my mammogram. And they came back, and I had been crying. Like, I just condensed the story, but I had been crying because I was so worried because they did all this stuff, and they confirmed it was something, but they was like, we don't know if it's a cyst, you know, or whatever. So somebody came in to let me know that they were outside, and I was trying to get myself together, so she saw me crying. So she runs out to the car. By the time I get to the car, she done told her dad, Mama crying. So he pulled over. So he in the car, and he like, why you crying? What they say? What's going on? So it's funny, but it's not. It wasn't funny then, but he was so upset. He done ran over the curb, talking about he finna go in there and find out from this doctor, like he finna go fight the doctor or something.
I know that's right.
Like, what? You know, we laugh about it, right? We laugh about it now, but
yeah.
I just said, let's just go. So we took the kids home, and then we went to my doctor's office, but he was out of town. This was on a Monday. He was out of town. No, I'm sorry, this was on a Wednesday. He was out of town until Monday. So that Monday, they got me right in to see him. He sent me to a breast specialist. I went that Wednesday, and I'm thinking they were going to do a biopsy because my doctor said they would do a biopsy and everything.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't do it. They had me come back that Friday. So that Friday I went, got the biopsy. He said, I'll have the results for you by Monday, and I'll give you a call. Well, they didn't call. My follow-up was that Wednesday. So they didn't call Monday or Tuesday, so I'm thinking, oh, it's okay. He must just gonna tell me when I get there.
Yeah.
So my sister Gerald was gonna go with me, and he ended up getting mandated for overtime. So my sister was trying to get off so I wouldn't have to go by myself. And I'm telling them, don't worry about it. They just gonna probably tell me, you know, everything okay, you know, like I'm brushing it off like it's no big deal. So I get there, and I'm waiting, and it's taking a little long or whatever, so I'm getting kind of impatient, but they finally called me back. Well, before they called me back, they gave me some more paperwork to fill out. And I'm like, why do I need all this paperwork? And I said, well, maybe they want me to start coming here, you know, because it's a breast doctor, so maybe they want me to start coming here for mammograms, you know, and just versus where I was going. So I'm in the back, and she was like, did the doctor call you with your results? And I'm like, no, he didn't call or whatever. She was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, you know, what's going on?
Like, why didn't call?
Right. And so a couple minutes later, the doctor came in with another nurse, and he just got right to it. He came in, he was like, yeah, you know, we did the biopsy and everything, and it came back, it was positive for cancer. I said, what? Like, what? And everything after that, like, I'm hearing him talk, but I'm not hearing him. Like, I don't know nothing.
He blanked out.
I just, and when I realized, when I kind of got myself together, came to, I wasn't even sitting on the bed. I was like in a chair, you know, and the nurse was coming back in with water. I'm like, damn, did I pass out? Like, what's going on? Or whatever. So
Dang.
He was like, he looked me in my face, and he was like, don't worry, I'm going to take care of you. You're going to be okay. And it comforted me, but I was in them people's office for like an hour and a half trying to get myself together. Like, I could not get myself together. The nurse kept coming in there like, we need this room. Like, she didn't say that, but she kept coming in there like, is she okay? And there was another, so they ended up calling a social worker to come and talk to me. Like, I could not get myself together. All I was thinking about is like, I'm gonna be dead by the time I get home, and what my kids gonna do. You know, like, that's how your mind think. You just think it's the end of the world. Like, that's what it sounds like. Cancer? Like, they done got everything for everything except cancer. Like, you know, so it was crazy. Like,
and that was the beginning. That was just the beginning of getting the news.
Beginning. Right. She came in there with a bag and a T-shirt and stuff, and I said, lady, I do not want that. Can you give me another diagnosis? You know, she was like, no, Miss Fulton, I'm sorry, we can't.
Now I know it was a part of you that when you did get yourself together, I knew it was a part of you that your inner self was like, I'm going to get through this.
Yeah. Well,
Even though I knew it was hard times where it was like, hold on, this might be tough.
a minute. It took a minute for me to get there.
You went through chemo and radiation and stuff like that?
I went through.
Because you lost your hair and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I had 33 rounds of radiation. 33 rounds. It was a lot. Damn near burnt. I had like burnt raw flesh from radiation. It smells so bad. If you ain't never smelled burnt flesh, it's gross. And chemo is the hardest thing I ever did in my life. But Big Gerald, I couldn't have made it. I couldn't have did it without him and my kids. Like, I couldn't have did it.
Shout out to my boy Big Gerald, man.
I couldn't have did it. Because at times but you know, the scary thing about it is that it has to be something in you. Because I went through that. I wanted to have a pity party. They was like, no, we're not doing that. We're not having no pity party. Like, it was just from day one. It was just love, support, positive. Everybody was so positive. And I didn't tell my kids right away. I didn't tell them until the weekend before I was having surgery. I did not tell them. And I didn't tell Lil Gerald made me tell him over the phone. He was in California. I wanted him to come home. He was filming, wilding out. And I didn't want to tell him while he was on the road.
Shout
I wanted
out to
him to
Hittman
come
Holla.
home.
He's doing great things.
Big things.
Yeah, he's doing big things.
He, it was crazy, but I held the news because I knew that they would have questions. And I didn't want to tell them that without being able to give them the answers to the questions that they may have, because I still didn't know anything.
Yeah.
So I ended up having surgery first. Some people do the chemo and everything and then have surgery. But I had surgery first. And so the weekend before I had surgery is when we put it on Facebook. And I promise you, I never spent one day by myself the whole 6 months I was going through.
That's tough.
Like, my friends.
That speak volume from your mama.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? From that household carrying over.
Especially my oldest sister, never missed a doctor's appointment. I'm telling, like, my family stepped up to the 10th power. Like, my sisters, my oldest sister, oh my God, she used to fight with me, because they say ginger tea and all this different stuff, help you. She made sure I was eating. My friends Trina and Tracy, they would come over and cook. When I say so many people in St. Louis that own restaurants, Gobble Stop, on Thanksgiving they sent us like 3 turkeys. Eric Vail Brothers, he made sure we had, like, they didn't stop bringing food, not just in the beginning, the whole time. I got a friend, she has her own house cleaning business.
Yeah.
She came over every week, kept the house clean. She was like, my friend won't be up in here with no germs. Like, people stepped up into, like, I could never, with my words, express the gratitude and thankfulness that I am to so many people that stood by me through the entire journey. Normally people will come in, around the hoopla when it first happens, but,
that's tough.
They stood and some of them still standing.
So let me ask you a question. What child took it the hardest?
My oldest, Hittman, he took the hardest. They all handled it in their own way. But as far as openly, he like clown. Like one night, he called and was like, he lost it, And I think he was just, I don't know. I think with the way I told the other kids and with me being there, for them when I told them, like, but see, I can't really say because Samaya went in her room and they all took it hard. So I can't really say one took it harder than the other.
Yeah.
But I think they probably was stronger about it.
Yeah.
I think they probably was a little stronger about it. you know. But he was the oldest, so he probably felt, you know what I'm saying? I can't explain it.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
Yeah.
I can't even wrap my mind
Right.
around
Right.
getting that type of news from my mama.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Right. Because I'm really close with all of my kids. Like, we're all close as a unit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, people ask me all the time, your kids closer to you or they dad? You know how, and it just be
Yeah.
like, ugh, it's hard to say, you know. But one thing I can say about me and Samaya, as she has gotten older,
Yeah.
like with my mom, the one thing about it, my mom worked, and, you know, I think generations tend to repeat. And me and my mother, while she was my mother, she wasn't my friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My oldest sister, and then my sister that's right over me. I'm the youngest out of 5. We have always been sisters and friends. But I always desired to have a friendship with my mom, and I never did. So I always said, if I have a daughter, I'm going to make sure that she could be my friend to an extent. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
And one thing is for certain, that's my little mini best friend for sure. That's my girl.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's your only girl, and it's just
Well,
the bond.
We adopted, so
Okay.
we adopted
okay,
Gerald
okay.
2 little cousins in the midst of all the cancer and everything.
In the midst of all that.
Yeah, we took them in. Yeah. So I was diagnosed in 2014. They came with us 2015.
Why y'all like that? Like why? Like it's a special thing. Like, you know, like even when we went to Junior Olympics that day, and I was there and we stayed up late,
Yeah.
and we was just cracking jokes and stuff.
Yeah.
Just to think back on that moment, like y'all just, I don't know. I can't even explain it. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why
but it's like
I
a
just-
why though, because people don't have to be that nice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And people overlook being that nice, and that means something. You don't know that you impacting somebody
Right.
just by being nice. You never know what storm gonna come your way.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
you never know what storm you could be helping somebody through. Because
Yeah.
through my journey, I had the nerve. I was always scared to ask God why me. I was always afraid. I was literally afraid to say that. I said, Lord, if you put me in this position, it was for a reason. But to
That's
have
tough.
Snoop Dogg call me the day I had surgery, you know what I'm saying? 50 Cent gave a big donation to my foundation that I started in the midst of all of this. Nick Cannon came to actually visit me, you know, sat down, stayed. Vivica Fox gave me a shout out. Tons of football players and athletes that I can't even name, like I didn't even know, was donating and telling me how they felt I was so strong. And I'm like, okay, Lord, I knew you was gonna do something, but I didn't know you was gonna do this. I went into Baked Teas one time, and a lady was in there. She was like, oh my God, I know who you are. She was like, you just don't even know how much you have shown me, you know, that it's okay to go through something and you can still carry yourself well. You know, like I would be in the grocery store. It was crazy. I was like, oh, you know, I was on Channel 2 News twice. One they did a story just on my journey, and the second time coaching track. I don't know if you remember, it was a mother and her boyfriend and 2 kids. Well, this has happened a lot, but they ended up, the car got shot up, and the mother and the boyfriend died. But the 2 little girls, they survived, but one got shot, you know, whatever. She joined our track team, and her family was basically like, she has never opened up and engaged with somebody like she has with you, you know. And the news came out and did a report on how she was doing and stuff like that. So it was cool. I'd be surprised, and that's why I say God bring everybody into your life for a reason. So there's nothing wrong with meeting new people and bringing them in. You never know. It could be for you or it could be for them.
So how they work? Like why you feel like that?
Because it's been so many people that has crossed paths for good and for a lesson, you know. For instance, my son, I think they take on a lot of our traits.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if he put it out there yet, but he just got a role on the #1 show on BET, games people play.
Okay.
Because
yeah.
he was open enough to meet someone new just by coincidence, but that's not really how he got the role. But by coincidence, this person that he just met is one of the people that's one of the producers or whatever that's on, or either he's on the show or I want to say he's one of the cast members on the show. Just ironically.
That's tough. Just like you said, just being open to meet new
Just
people.
being open
and
to
not
meet
be
new
so
people.
closed-minded, so shelled in. Because
or so arrogant or so high
there
and
you go.
mighty that, you feel like you the prize. No, that's not what it's about. And if you are in a position like that, what are you doing to help somebody else that's not?
There you go. I
know?
met this guy through Instagram. I didn't even know him for real. But then I seen that he shot Tory Lanez and Chris Brown video.
Mm-hmm.
He was just a normal guy.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't know that, but now me and him got a relationship.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now
Right.
I'm flying out to Miami
Absolutely.
to go do an interview with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't know the caliber type of person he was,
Right.
but it was just being open-minded to
Right.
building new relationships and meeting new people.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So what you saying is dead on.
I believe that. I believe God bring everybody in your life for a reason or a lesson.
Yeah,
They do.
that's tough. So moving forward, okay, you went through that stage, you told the kids. Now you're going through the process. Going through the process, a lot of people showed you love and you had that support.
Absolutely.
But what about them down days, them dark moments where you was like,
Absolutely.
I don't know, or I'm
I'm
feeling
telling
so
you.
bad, I don't know.
It's hard. It was in the very beginning. It was times where I would be sitting around and my family laugh and joke 24/7, and I would feel guilty. I would just feel like, girl, you got cancer. What you finding funny?
Right, you can't
what you
laugh
laughing at?
Dang.
You know what I'm saying? Or it would be times we would all be sitting around and I would feel like, damn, it's possible that this is what my family could be doing minus my presence. All of
That's
that
tough.
stuff would play in your head.
That's crazy.
Or I would be getting dressed and I would look in the mirror and be like, girl, you got cancer. What? It is so mentally tough. If you don't have no mental toughness, I don't see how that could possibly be why
That'll
some
take
people
you
don't
straight
make it.
out.
Because sometimes I would be so high and then I would get so low. But one time I got so low, it scared me. I didn't feel like I could bring myself back out. I wanted to have my own pity party. And I felt scared. And I said, Lord, I don't ever want to go to that dark place again that I saw. And from that day forward, I made sure that regardless of how I felt or what was happening, I was going to be positive. And it was very easy for me to be positive because everybody around me was positive. I would get offended when people say, you're going to be okay. You're strong. How you know? How you know I'm going to be okay? It was almost how you had the audacity to say I'm going to be okay? I got cancer. You just, in your mind, it's a mental thing, it's a death sentence. But in actuality, it's not. It came from me and it was a blessing. They did a little episode of me on Wildin' Out. I got a little part in there.
That's what's up.
So
Coming out of that, all that's past, all that's over. You went through the process. Coming out of that and walking out of the hospital, a survivor. How did you feel?
Man.
Even you got hair on your head now. It's
Absolutely.
all that.
It was awesome. I started a foundation, Passion for Pink, because one of the biggest things for me when I was going through was my kids. Things that I did for my kids, I needed people to step up and do for my kids. People were so busy catering to me. What about my kids? And not that they did it on purpose or to be, mean or anything, but, it's just natural. You're the one who is in need, but they're in need. They're meant my baby had homecoming. I was getting chemo. I would only be good 2 days out the week. I would get chemo every third Wednesday. And I would get chemo on a Wednesday. By that Friday, for 6 days, I was out of it. I couldn't eat. I wouldn't eat for 6 days. I would just be in the bed like lethargic. Like, she needs to go homecoming shopping. People work. People got their own lives besides trying to check on me. Who can do that for me? So on a day that I felt good, we would try to go out, but then I had to be careful. I can't be out with the germs, and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But as a mom, I still had to do what I had to do. So I wanted to start a foundation to step in to help women. It could be a granny, an aunt, or whoever taking care of the kids. I wanted to step in to give them that relief, pay for parties, like birthday parties, because it's a financial strain.
Yeah, that's tough.
Kids need stuff for homecoming. My family is big time on sports. So we grant little scholarships. Maybe you need to buy some track shoes or a uniform or pay track fees. That's why my foundation was started, to step in to fill the need of the children of the women going through.
That's tough. What's the name of the foundation?
Passion for Pink.
Passion for Pink. I seen that. Passion for Pink. And you normally have like a anniversary or something?
Yeah, I do. So because I cater to kids, in October I do a Pink October, and I honor the survivors. So it's about them. So we do a kickball, a golf tournament, and the big Pink October event in October.
Okay, what would you tell somebody who's dealing with cancer right now, and they not in their best mental space? They not in the best mental space.
Pray a lot. Stand on their faith. You have to believe. You have to believe. You have to trust God. And it's so hard. It's so hard to be positive. But the thing I would definitely say is you have to be positive and surround yourself around positive people.
So they need that supporting cast.
They absolutely need it. I couldn't imagine anybody going through something like that by themselves. Like every doctor visit I had, every chemo day I had to go to chemo, my friend, I had Monica, she would leave like on days when Gerald had to work, and I would be so sick, I would have to go to the cancer center to get fluids or come in and get medicine through an IV to just try to help me make it through.
Yeah.
Like people would leave work, come take me. Like I was never by myself. That's why I couldn't imagine people. And chemo is so hard. I met people during chemo, like mostly older people, but I met people that I connected with. One lady in particular, she happened to live around the corner from me. Her family became my family. That's how close we got. So then when her daughter told me, like, she just couldn't do it no more, she didn't want to do chemo no more, it was too hard. So she passed away, crushed me. I couldn't believe it.
Cause you went from the beginning to the end right now, you went from being an unbeliever to cancer to being a believer, that you could make it through this.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I got it, I'll be an unbeliever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But talking to you,
right,
you a believer, so you'll be able to help me.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of people reach out to me and be like, my mom was diagnosed, or my friend or my cousin, can you talk to him? And it's easy when you on the upside of it, trying to tell somebody you're going to be okay. Because honestly, that's the last thing you want to hear, And you know what, something that people have a very bad habit of, when they meet somebody that's going through, or they say, they had cancer. Oh, my such and such died from cancer. Like, what make you think somebody want to hear that? Right. I don't know why that be the first. So you learn and you adapt. You learn. You say, well, what stage was it? Did they get chemo? Oh, no, they didn't want to do that. So you learn to weed through, what, because for whatever reason, some people just want to tell you the negative parts of it,
So to spend this conversation, how do it feel to have kids when I sit back and look at all the kids that you got, they are leaders. Like, how do it feel to like have a bunch this bunch of kids that's leaders like that? And they had to be birthed from mom and dad, but like when I look at Hittman and everything he done did, and everybody that all of the kids, they done came from going through the process. If you look at what they done put out to the universe, because you don't know what they do in a secret places,
Right.
but what they done put out in the universe and on social media and stuff, you see that they went through a process. It wasn't nothing gave to them.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And for them to be where they are right now, like, that's why I follow them.
Right.
That's why I stay connected. Because a lot of people, they connect themselves to people that's not even, like, speaking life into you, not even motivating you all the time. I see it on social media. But like to see Hittman doing what he doing, to see Shoa doing what he doing, to see Samaya doing what she doing, even Jordan. So every year you see them just excelling, something new, something fresh, popping out, just something different. And it's like, wow. So as a mother, how do you just sit back and soak all that in? Even going through all you went through, and it was a possibility that you couldn't have been here to see it.
Absolutely. I'm grateful. I'm thankful about that. And I see a lot of my work ethic in my kids. Like, I look at Samaya. Samaya is a behind closed door hustler. Like, she got it honest, because it's been times I done worked 3 jobs. Not because I had to. It's because I wanted to. Because I wanted to give my kids more than what, not necessarily more than what I had, because I had a pretty decent life. You know, I can't complain. I didn't not have shoes. I didn't come home and the electric was off or none of that. But it's just because, you know, I wanted a bigger house for them. I wanted nice cars. You know, I wanted things. I wanted them to know that these are things you can have when you work for it. But her work ethic and her, just the way that she speaks things into existence, I sit back and, like, I'm wild by her. I'm like, look at her. Like, absolutely, like, she reminds me so much of me. But Samaya is so mature for her age. Like, she out here doing things that people in their 30s ain't got together yet. You know what I'm saying? And she don't have to be on social media announcing it and stuff like that. So for my kids to come up in the generation that they're coming up in, like, Lil Gerald, don't drink, don't smoke. Jalen, don't drink, don't smoke. Samaya, she went to college and
she got exposed.
How to do some things. but seriously, like, they got it together, and they not out here robbing nobody, scamming nobody, and stuff like that. So for that, I am grateful for them to have come up in the generation that they have.
And to be a parent that know in the back of your mind when you sleep, I'm not worrying about none of my kids, because they really not off into
But you still worry just because the way this world is.
Oh you got to.
With them, and it's a false sense of security. But with the boys being out of St. Louis, I sleep a little better, honestly. I hate it for Jordan. Like, I just hate it. I hate St. Louis for anybody that's trying to do anything in life. You know, because it's just like, I'm not seeing too much positive here for their ages. You know, like, he 18. You know.
It's crazy right now. 18?
Absolutely.
They growing up in a generation that 10 generations before us never even seen.
Absolutely. And he don't get it, you know. And I think back to my mother saying, you know, things that we shouldn't be doing because of this, that, and the other. You thought, oh, Mom. But now I'm like, no, this different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This different. So, I just pray that they continue to elevate, you know, and stay on the right track and prosper. I want them to have everything in life that they want.
That's good.
I do.
That's good. They heard it from Mama.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So moving forward, what's next for Passion with the Pink? Passion for Pink. What's next for that?
Hopefully, once COVID is over, we can get back to business. I haven't really put myself out there with my foundation the way that I want to.
Okay.
But going forward, I am really striving to get more into the community, to do more, maybe open up a few avenues, because we don't get a whole lot of traffic because it's just a local foundation. But I would like to open it up so we can help people, like, everywhere. you know.
What about, like, I always have one of these moments during the interview where I want to just kind of drop some type of advice or something. Like, what about, like, and I don't know if you do this already, like with the foundation, like start moving around, like, and meeting people who got cancer or something
Right.
like that.
I have tried to network with like SMS,
Yeah.
because they do like support groups and stuff like that. So I have tried to maneuver, but basically the type of work that I was doing, it didn't really allow me to do a lot of stuff that I wanted to do. Because,
Okay.
you know, you got to work first. You know, unfortunately, I can't not work and just run a foundation. So I
Yeah.
have to have, you know, my regular
Balance.
job. So,
Yeah.
you know, I never really was allowed at the time that I really wanted to put into it. Or I was just always distracted with other things, coaching track, coaching cheerleading,
yeah.
you know, and just being supportive to the kids.
Being
My
a
kids
mom.
was always
Yeah.
doing stuff. So I never had, for the passion that I have for it on the inside didn't match the energy that I actually put into it on the outside. So I definitely want to try to get more to that.
That's good. That's good. So tell them where they can find Passion for Pink.
You can find us
tell them
on
to follow you.
Facebook. You can follow me, Jess_music. That's my Instagram name. Passion for Pink is on Instagram. We have a website, passionforpinkfoundation.org, or it's just passionforpink.org. I'm sorry, but we're on Facebook, Instagram, and you can find us on the internet.
I'm telling y'all, this is Mama Sue. If you know, you know. But tune into this episode, you know what I'm saying? Share this episode, because I believe that this episode going to impact so many people who got cancer, who survived from cancer, and people who even, if they even get cancer, but I rebuke that right now.
Well,
that,
what I would like to add to that, and I'm sorry to interrupt
No,
you,
you're
is
fine.
that what we need to do, especially as in our Black community, is really, I'm sorry, I lost the word I was trying to use. We have to be vigilant of our own care. Because just like with my experience, I wanted them to say so bad, oh, it's nothing. I didn't ask for a second opinion. I didn't even try to go back to get a second opinion.
That's good.
I just trusted what they said when I shouldn't have, because at the end of the day, doctors are human beings too. So they may be a doctor, may have more education,
Right.
but you know your body.
Right.
If something
Yeah.
ain't right and don't seem right, don't just settle for well, the doctor said. No, go to another doctor, and if you still don't feel right, go to another doctor. And if you still don't
That's
feel
tough.
right, go to another doctor until you get the answers and stuff that you need and that you feel comfortable with.
Hey, at the end of the day, we are life changers. This Speak On It, I'm the host, the beautiful Sue, Mama Sue, Sister Sue, whatever you want to call her, because she going to make you feel all them. We out. Until next time, man. Speak on it. Don't hold it in.
That's right.
You know, I'm gonna be honest. It's more to the fact that I feel like when I was doing music, I didn't get the same feeling like that. I didn't get the same feeling. I was more passionate about, like I was in a group and like with the general, I wanted to see him win.
Okay.
Better. So I realized that I want to see people win. Like it ain't the fact that music means nothing to me. Like fuck that. But you got a story and it's real. I can relate to it. Shit, I want to be behind it. And I just want to be behind him. Just like I want to be behind Poodle. Gonna put it back on Poodle. But just like I want to be behind Poodle.
No, that's good.
It's like
That's good stuff,
once I embrace the music and embrace the story and it's fact, it ain't cap, it overtakes me where I don't fuck my music. I wanna hear your shit.